One of the biggest mistakes beginning sweet romance writers make is this. They think romance stories are built mainly on plot. But readers don't fall in love with romance stories because dramatic things have happened, or because the outline was technically correct. Readers fall in love with romance stories because of the emotional progression between the hero and the heroine. They love the emotional journey. They love the longing between the hero and the heroine, the vulnerability, the emotional tension, and the emotional transformation between the main characters. In case we haven't met, I'm Lorna Faith, and I write clean adventure fiction, and I also write contemporary sweet romance with my pen name Melody Archer. I love helping beginning writers to write and self-publish sweet romance books that are deeply meaningful stories that readers love. Today, I want to share with you the 9 emotional beats that help sweet romance readers emotionally invest in your story. Because once you understand these emotional beats, your sweet romance will start to feel deeper almost immediately. So let's get to it. Emotional beat number 1, the opening image. This beat shows emotional loneliness and what your character is struggling with before love arrives. Something emotional is missing in the heroine's or the hero's life. Maybe they fear abandonment. They've stopped trusting love. Or perhaps they are emotionally guarded after grief. Readers need to feel emotional longing before the romance begins between your main characters. In my example of Jack and Emily, Emily arrives at the seaside town emotionally exhausted after the loss of her husband. Jack emotionally isolates himself after losing his fiancée. So before they have even met, emotional loneliness and grief already exists. So at the beginning of Jack and Emily's story, readers would definitely be feeling deeply the emotional longing, the shared grief, and the hurt and the pain between Jack and Emily. This is what pulls readers in. They begin to feel empathetic, and it will pull them into the story. If you would like more help to write your slow burn sweet romance, to understand the emotional plot beats of your story, you can grab the worksheets with story examples of my Sweet Romance Story Starter Pack for free at the link below this video. Now let's get to emotional beat number 2, the meet cute. This beat creates emotional curiosity, chemistry, emotional contrast, a possibility. A great meet cute is not just cute. It emotionally shifts something in your story. In Jack and Emily's story example, perhaps Emily spills coffee while feeling overwhelmed with her little daughter Sarah. Perhaps Jack quietly helps her. Emily notices his gentleness with her daughter, and Jack notices her exhaustion. Something emotional begins between the two of them. Emotional beat number 3, the growing connection. Now the relationship deepens emotionally. This beat builds comfort, trust, chemistry, and emotional recognition. The characters begin emotionally affecting each other. Emotional beat number 4, the seed of doubt is planted. This is where there's some emotional fear in the hero and the heroine, because the closer that love grows, the more emotionally dangerous it feels. Jack begins to withdraw after maybe a time of closeness with Emily. And Emily's abandonment wound begins to show up when Jack backs away from her. And now the tension in your story deepens naturally. Emotional beat number 5, the shared vulnerable moment. This is where emotional intimacy forms between your hero and your heroine. One or both characters will reveal an emotional truth. Perhaps they'll lower emotional walls, or they'll allow themselves to be emotionally seen. And readers really connect deeply to your hero and your heroine when they are vulnerable with each other. And it creates more empathy and relatability in your readers' hearts as they read these scenes. Emotional beat number 6, deepening love between your main characters. Now the relationship begins to feel really real. This beat creates longing, emotional hope, emotional attachment, and emotional risk. And love really starts to matter now between your main characters. And that emotional importance begins to create tension between your hero and your heroine. Emotional beat number 7, the crisis, or some call it the dark night of the soul. This is the emotional breaking point between your hero and your heroine. Old fears and wounds fully activate. The relationship has now fractured and they might have broken up. And this really matters because readers must feel what could be lost between the two of them. And readers will start to worry about your characters at this point. They'll wonder, are they ever going to get back together? Are they now torn apart forever? And this is a good thing for readers to feel that because it'll keep them turning the pages. And that's what we want. Now we get to emotional beat number 8, choosing love over fear. This is really the emotional transformation between your hero and your heroine. The characters finally risk vulnerability. They choose trust. They emotionally start to grow despite their fear. This is where your sweet romance becomes very satisfying to your readers. Readers love to see your hero and your heroine begin to become vulnerable and to have that aha moment that caused such great fear and caused them to pull away from love. Readers love to see that aha moment, and they love to watch how your heroine and heroine will get back together. And this is that moment. Emotional beat number 9, the happy ending and the epilogue. This beat really fulfills the emotional promise you've made to your readers. This is where your hero and your heroine's core needs are emotionally met, and readers start to feel hope and healing and emotional satisfaction and peace. And this emotional payoff is what your romance readers are really going to remember, and they love a very satisfying ending to your sweet romance. So just as a little bit of encouragement, when your sweet romance is feeling maybe a little boring or a little flat, don't simply ask what plot point is missing. Instead, I encourage you to ask what emotional beat is missing from my story, because emotional progression in the scenes between your hero and your heroine are really the true heartbeat of sweet romance storytelling. And if you want more help building emotional tension, emotionally layered characters, and an emotionally satisfying romance structure, then watch this video next. I'll see you there.